In the name of Almighty Allah, the most compassionate. Beloved students, today our topic is passivation. You know, passivation, that means active or passive. When we talk regarding the passivation, simply just we can say the voice of verb shows whether its subject acts or is acted upon. This is known as passivation. When we talk regarding the passivation, then this passivation, it has two main components. First, this is called the active voice. Active voice. Another part, this is known as passive. This is known as passive voice. Passive, active and passive voice. Simply just we can say AV and PV. Later on we will talk here. This passivation, it plays a vital role. This is very important. Sometimes we are taking the support of the active voice, while sometimes we are taking the support of the passive voice. Isn't it? So when we talk regarding this passivation, this active voice, you can ask me here question, what does mean active voice? Simply regarding the active voice, we can say when the subject of a verb is acted upon, simply just we can say the verb is said to be in the active voice. Isn't it? Say for example here, I write down here one sentence, he helps me. He helps me. This is active sentence here. In this sentence we have found here subject and one that's called the object. This is active voice. But when we talk regarding the passivation, what's passivation? Simply just we can say when the subject of a verb is acted upon or the object acts, the verb is said to be in passive voice. For example, we have written down here sentence, he helps me. We can say I am helped by him. This is passivation. This is the passive voice of this sentence here. Isn't it, beloved students? This is point number one, which you have to inculcate here. There are the three important points which you must inculcate, and then later on just we proceed. There are total 56 rules in passivation. Well, we will study here at least 20 rules. 12 rules of tenses, and while the 8 rules, there are extra rules in the same case. There are total 20 rules we have to study here. Beloved students, this was the point number first. Passivation, in which we have found there are the two important points. Where I have kept my duster. 1 minute, I will bring the duster here. This is point number first, beloved students. After that, there is very important point which we have to study. Point number 2. Although this was the point number first, point B, the following pronouns. The following pronouns are changed into their corresponding pronouns as. Beloved students, there are some pronouns. We changed some pronouns which are very important. We must inculcate this information here. Then it's possible we can make passive very easily. Beloved students, if we find I, we have to change this I into me. Suppose we will write down here, this is AV, active voice, and this is PV, this is called the passive voice. When you find I, we have to change this I into me. If you find you into you. If you find they into them. If you find he, we change he into him. If you find here her or she, we can say simply she, we can say. If you find she here, we can change this she into her. Isn't it? If you find here we change this we into us. If you find change it change into it. Or if you change, suppose here, if you find any noun, any name, we change Ahmad into Ahmad. We must inculcate this important point here into our mind. I will clear this. I have erased this point number. We have completed the 2 pointers, point A, point B, we can say pronouns, and point C. This is one diagram. this is diagram, or we can say image. This image is, this diagram is very important. Now students, if you want to get the competency on whole rules, on especially the 20 rules, you must remember this important diagram which I am going to demonstrate before you here. Now students, I will make here cross, this cross. I will write down here S stands for subject, O stands for object, this is AV. Now students, this is AV, active voice. AV stands for active voice. When we find any sentence into active voice, there must be the, we can say, subject as well as object. But when we have to change this active voice into PV voice, isn't it? We must bring this object here, and we must bring this subject here, and before the subject, isn't it, we must bring here agent, by, preposition by. We have to write down here. Before the by, we must write down the third form of verb, isn't it? Before the third form, we must bring any auxiliary verb, isn't it? Whenever you have to change, you have to transfer the active sentence into the passive voice, we must follow these important points here. There must be the, we can say that this object, we have to make subject here, and after this we have to bring any auxiliary. Here it is very important information that there are the two kinds of auxiliaries, primary auxiliaries and secondary auxiliaries. We have to bring here any primary auxiliary, and after the auxiliary we have to bring here only third form of verb. You may be aware that there are the four forms of verb, isn't it? You may heard me in conjugation of verb. There are the four forms of verb. That means conjugation of verb means to give the four forms of verb. That means present, past, past participle, and present participle. Here we have to bring past participle, third form only. After third form, we have to write down here agent, by, preposition by, just we have to write down here, and after by, we have to bring it here. This becomes the object here. In this way, we complete the passive sentences here. You must remember this diagram. Now we will start the passivation. There are 20 rules in it. Rule by rule, I will demonstrate all rules before you here. Till by.